According to Homer, the writer of Iliad, the tongue of man is a twisted thing. There are plenty of words, they're of every kind, the range of words is wide, and their variance. At the end of this module, you will be able to identify and describe the processes of voice production, determine human speech organs, and describe how they coordinate in the voice production processes, and recognize the difference between the English alphabet, which is used in spelling words, and the International Phonetic Alphabet, which is used to represent speech sounds. The ability to talk is God's greatest gift to us humans. To understand one another, we speak a language common to us. We utter thousands of words a day to tell others what we want, how we feel, or which we prefer. But did you know that before we could make a single sound as we talk, we undergo a different process? Here is how. There are four stages of speech production, namely respiration, phonation, resonation, and articulation. As we inhale, the air goes into our nose to our lungs. Then as we exhale, the diaphragm pushes the air to the throat. Technically, this is called breathing process. Inhalation and exhalation occur rhythmically during normal breathing, but are shorter in duration and occur during pauses when speaking. Proper control of exhalation is essential for the most effective production of voice. Phonation process. From the throat, the air goes up to the larynx, which is also called the voice box or Adam's apple. This is called voice box because inside it are muscles called vocal cords, which could vibrate when the air reaches them. When the vocal cords vibrate, sound is produced. The sound in the phonation process is still weak to be heard, so our pharynx, which is found behind the mouth, our nasal cavity in the nose, and oral cavity in the mouth, which are air-filled space, make the sound as loud as needed when the air reaches them. Because of the soft sounds are made louder, this stage is called amplification or resonation process. Humans speak different languages depending on the place where they are born or raised. Because of this, humans speak differently, which means we hear different sounds from each other, whether we understand or not. So that we could speak properly, our articulators do their job. To avoid stuttering and stammering, articulators must properly work together whenever they are needed in producing a particular sound. All the more when these single sounds are connected to words, sentences, and long expressions when we share our ideas. Articulation is what we call this process. The following are different organs of speech or articulators. We have the lips, teeth, tongue, alveolar ridge, hard palate, velum, uvula, and glottis. Lips. The upper lip and lower lip help to produce bilabial sounds p, b, and m. If they are held together, the sounds produced in that position are bilabial stops p, b. If the lips are held together, they produce different vowel sounds a, e, o, and u. Teeth. The tip of the tongue helps to produce t, d, z. The blade of the tongue helps to produce ch, j, sh, etc. The front of the tongue helps to produce palatal sound ya, and the back of the tongue helps to produce k, g sounds. Tongue. With its wide variety of possible movements, it assists in forming the sounds of speech. Alveolar ridge. This is the hard ridge behind upper front teeth. It is between the roof of the mouth and the upper teeth. Hard palate, also known as the roof of the mouth. Velum, also known as the soft palate. This articulator is movable, consisting of muscle fibers sheathed in mucous membrane. It is responsible for closing off the nasal passages during the act of swallowing and also for closing off the airway. Uvula. This is the loose hanging end of the soft palate. It looks like a punching bag when we open our mouth. Glottis. It assists in forming the buzzing sounds g, ng, and y. Phonetic transcription helps us to speak and pronounce certain unfamiliar words properly. It is the visual representation of speech sounds. The most common type of phonetic transcription uses a phonetic alphabet. It is called the International Phonetic Alphabet. You can commonly see a phonetic transcription of a word beside a certain word in the dictionary. Let's try to read this IPA for vowels. Read after me. Pit, pet, pat, pot, butt, book, mother, bean, burn, barn, born, boon, bite, bait, boy, toe, house, poor, ear, air. Now let's read these IPA examples for diphthongs. Please read after me. Face, price, choice, near, square, goat, mouth, poor. Now for IPA for consonants. Pip, bib, ten, den, cat, get, fish, thigh, this, set, zoo, ship, measure, hen, church, judge, man, now, sing, let, ride, wet, yet. Reading phonetic transcription is fun, isn't it? Now try to read this word.